bright and early, half awake, and it is time to answer some questions. What's good, Internet? My name is attackslug. It is time for the long-awaited question and answer video, I guess. Thanks to everyone who sent in questions. I picked about 15, so let's get started. Starting off with the Cobraism, Anthony and Life with Zach wanting to know my thoughts on AEW, and it's funny how right when I took a break from doing daily wrestling news type videos, a bunch of news happened. And generally, my thoughts on AEW are as follows. If they get a good TV deal, like the rumored TNT TBS TV deal, and they have a weekly product, there is room in the market for a strong second place contender being financially backed by someone of a Ted Turner level like WCW was. And if that is the case, then yes, they are in position to be a strong second place player, definitely way above Ring of Honor and Impact, because they have a larger financial backing to do so. But if they don't get that lucrative TV deal, they're going to be in that same vein of a Ring of Honor or an Impact. And having a financial backer who is a billionaire, like a Ted Turner or a Vince McMahon, who is willing to lose money year after year after year to get that groundswell of support for the product is super important. But I think any grandiose delusions of them overthrowing WWE in any kind of near-term future is just that, delusions. It takes time to foster relationships with those stadiums, those merchandise companies, all the things you need to have that kind of global branding that WWE has gotten over the past 50 years. You need to take time to build those relationships, and AEW is just kind of at this point on the ground floor. They've made a lot of smart moves thus far, but time will tell on if they're really in it for the long haul or not. But yes, I'm gonna watch. How could you not? Dolphin316 wants to know, do I believe in extraterrestrial life? I think the universe is a huge place. It's the universe, right? So the fact that you think that we're the only ones who have brains somewhere in the universe is crazy, unless you believe that we all live in a simulation. That's a whole different theory in and of itself. But I think aliens are way more likely to be real than ghosts. Just saying. Nats Games wants to know, the best game I played of 2018. If only there were some videos that I did in December that would give you that information. If only I did several Game of the Year videos every year. If only. People should watch those because I made those. Information you want and you seek is in those videos. So please, please go watch those. Steve Comedian wants to know, if I could name any WWE superstar who would join the Bullet Club, who would it be? A year ago, I would have said Neville, aka Pac, but obviously that didn't happen. These days, the Revival, I think, would fit in quite nicely. Ranuyasha wants to know, what do I think about Drew McIntyre going to SmackDown Live in a year or so during the Superstar Shakeup? I think this year's Superstar Shakeup, more so than any other year, is going to be very interesting to watch, because this year, you're going to see who does the company think are the most important superstars when it comes to who's going to SmackDown Live. Because October, SmackDown, moving to Fox. That's network TV. That is going to be way better ratings, or hopefully better ratings, than is what's on USA on Raw. That's going to make SmackDown the A show. So I would say certainly someone like Ronda Rousey going to SmackDown is almost a lock, right? So is that going to be someone like Drew, someone like Braun, someone who's going to be the future and the face of the brand? I would say you're going to see a lot of those moving from Raw onto SmackDown Live. But hey, we'll see. Cyclone wants to know my favorite gaming YouTubers, and I will tell you, the more you spend time making videos, the less time you have to watch other people's videos. But I do watch Mega64. I watch some of the Team 4-Star gaming stuff, mostly Renegade for Life. Even though they're owned by CBS and are not really a gaming YouTuber, I watch a lot of Giant Bomb. I am definitely a fan of Super Bunny Hop. I think he puts out some great long-form content. And one of the most underrated gaming channels, B3Z, aka Gaming with Character, Like, I'm literally subscribed. I click the bell, and YouTube does not put those videos in my sub box. They are literally burying that dude's channel. Please, go subscribe to B3Z. That dude's videos are hilarious. A.D. Gonzalez wants to know, how long does it take to make a gameplay video and edit and etc., etc.? And honestly, it depends on the kind of video. When I was doing daily videos, like wrestling game videos, I'm in front of the camera for about 20 minutes, perhaps 30. And then that's just the recording part, right? Then the editing is, 30 to 45 minutes for a basic video. Then the rendering is another 45 minutes. Then the uploading is another 15, 20 minutes. Then, thumbnail, tag, title, description. Overall, 3 to 4 hours on the low side. Now, if I'm going to be doing a lot of heavy editing, like, say, my Game of the Year videos, which you should definitely watch, that's a lot longer of a thing. When I did that video earlier in the week of the top 10 Avalanche moves, that was 4 hours to capture. That was 3 hours to edit. These things add up. But on my most basic daily videos, I'm starting at 9 in the morning, and I'm usually done by lunchtime. Both Nick and Hogan want to know what games I'm looking forward to in 2019. My most anticipated, easily, because they're sequels to games that were of my top games of all time. We have Spelunky 2, and we have Trials Rising. And we know that Trials Rising is out in about a month. Unfortunately, no real release date yet outside of 2019 for Spelunky 2, but I can guarantee you, those games will eat up a lot of my time this year because they're, Trials and Spelunky. Seriously, that's my shit right there. Bubba Funk wants to know, will I do a story mode for No Mercy? That's on my goals for 2019 is to get into that whole No Mercy emulation modding thing and have a nice looking version of that game to play for a story. Fun fact, I never actually played that story mode. All the hours I spent in No Mercy in my childhood, I never played story because I bought that original launch copy that had the save glitch in it. And if you played story mode, there was a chance it would erase your whole save, so I never touched it. So that, to me, would be fresh for this year. So we'll see. I'm still kind of hashing out how it's all going to work, but that's in my goals for this year, definitely. The age-old question from Guns and Kaiju and Gibby about doing new music, about going back to rapping, etc., etc. It's been 5 years now, at least 5 years. I had not written a song in 5 years. And honestly, I put all of my creative energy into making videos happen, into making literally over 3,000 videos happen on this channel. The only way to actually get back into music would be to stop making YouTube videos. That energy has to go somewhere, and there's only so much of it, really. And just the cold hard fact of that there are bills to pay, and talking about video games and wrestling pays better than rapping about video games and wrestling. It's just numbers. Look at it like Joe Budden stopped rapping and went into podcasting and is doing way bigger numbers podcasting. It's kind of like that. Nicholas Breeden wants to know how I record my game and my face cam at the same damn time, and I'd say most people would be using a capture device and a webcam, and then using OBS to mix those two sources. But I'm not most people. Therefore, my more hi-fi but also very lo-fi solution is to, yes, use a capture device. I have a Hauppauge HD PVR2. I also have an Elgato for the same thing somewhere in here. But also, I'm using a cell phone, literally Galaxy S9 cell phone on top of my TV to record the face, and I got microphone down here, and it is cell phone and capture thing at the same time. I hit record, and then before I launch the game, I launch a game that has audio talking, right? And then I sync those two up in Adobe Premiere, and that's how I edit those videos. So basically, I have 3 different sources for my videos, and I mesh them all up together and then make a video out of it. It's not the most elegant solution, but it works for me. Also, more importantly, it's portable. I can do it with a laptop and a cell phone and a game console wherever I need to go to record videos. Wrestling Predictions and Reviews wants to know who I think will win this year's Royal Rumble, both men's and women's. And I think it is still, we're mid-January, so kind of a little bit too early to kind of get into those real, like, solid predictions. But off the top of my head, who I'd like to see win would be on the men's side, John Cena. And you ask, why in the hell would we give John Cena another Royal Rumble win? Because I want to see, like, old man, I still got it, John Cena as the face versus Daniel Bryan as the heel. One more time, grandest stage of them all. Super like, I'm in movies, super capitalist John Cena versus hippie vegan Daniel Bryan as a heel would be just stellar. That would be a super easy angle to book, and both those guys could knock that out of the park. We'll see. As far as the women, I have been on record saying that we need to have Charlotte and Becky do the Bret Hart Lex Luger finish from Royal Rumble 94. Both fall out at the same time, and then we end up with a triple threat or something for Ronda Rousey and her belt on Raw. We'll see. Alan Barkley wants to know my top 10 favorite games of all the times for any console. And I really like, as much as I like building top 10 lists at the end of every year, go watch those videos, the fact that when you say all time, that is such a hard category to get into. I could sit here and go 20, 30, 40 easily, right? So in no particular order, and this list changes constantly, but as of right now, as of this moment recording this video, I will say Earthbound, Spelunky, Trials Evolution, Super Mario World, Legend of Heroes, Trails in the Sky, Tetris, Disaster Report, Steins Gate, Super Monkey Ball, and Link to the Past. But again, there are so many games that should be on that list. Mario 64, Burnout 2, like I can sit here and go on and on and on, but I won't. We have more questions to answer. Dish Network Joel wants to know, who really is attackslug? Man, you just blew my mind. Who really is anyone? What really is anything? What's the point of any of this in front of these bright lights and this green screen, man? Sit and think about it. Drink it in, man. I don't know. John316 wants to know, what is the worst game I played from recent memory? And I think I'm pretty good at usually avoiding games that I know are going to be bad. Like, I play a lot of, subpar, mediocre, like, not quite middle of the road, whatever games. And I'm pretty good at avoiding games that are just bad and just terrible and not worth playing. But once in a while, that kind of slips through the cracks, and I think, oh, wait, this might be good, and it ends up not being all that good. And obviously, being where I'm at in that companies send me games, like, I'm even just being very much, like, handpicking games that I think are at least going to be a little bit interesting, because I get sent games that look just downright bad that I don't play, that I don't make videos on, that aren't even worth touching, because I can tell from the trailer, like, that's just going to be bad. But I would say, of the ones that I have played in the past year or so, Real Farm. Go watch that April Fool's video from last year I did on Real Farm that I tried to make entertaining, and man, Real Farm is, even for a farming sim, like, there are better farming sims out there. There are better farming simcade whatever games. That game's just not very good, you guys. Don't play Real Farm. Seriously. It took me like 3 hours to make a 10-minute joke video. It was real bad. So there we go. Questions have been answered. I will hopefully won't take so long between this video and the next Q&A. It hopefully won't be 482 days until the next one, but you never know. I get busy. We'll see. I'm attackslug. Thanks for watching. More videos when I make them right here on this channel, and I'm out.